Gold Squad TV. All right, so I'm gonna do a special video right here because you know this just really kind of came to my mind, man. Jabari Parker. Now we all know I'm not even gonna debate whether he's a bust or not because I really kind of just think um he kind of is and kind of isn't, only in the sense to where you know he had a couple good years in Milwaukee, but never really reached his potential due to blowing out both his knees early in his career. But I have a different reason why I feel like he never really reached his potential. He signed a deal with the Chicago Bulls after being let go by the Milwaukee Bucks in 2018, 2017 or 18. Yeah, so 18. Yes, 2018 was his last season with the Bucks. He got let go and signed by the Bulls in the offseason. Now, if you remember, for Chicago Bull fans, y'all remember Jabari Parker's press conference when they asked him if he was going to improve his defense. He said they don't pay players to play defense in this league. That's why he's a bust. You're in an NBA, you're in a professional basketball association in a league that prides itself on wings being able to play both ends of the floor. And you have the nerve to sit there and say they don't pay players to play defense. The majority of the wings, going from LeBron James all the way to Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, all the way to even a Kyle Kuzma. Those guys all play defense. They all play defense. Even Andrew Wiggins, to an extent, plays defense. A guy who was picked before you in the draft. To see Jabari Parker wearing the number 33 for the Sacramento Kings, coming off the bench on a 2-year deal, basically with a very limited skill set at this point. He doesn't have the explosiveness anymore that he had before the knee injuries. He looks like a sore thumb out there, man. I personally think he should have went overseas and made money that way, because I think that's where his game would probably flourish more. Playing in the NBA is not for Jabari Parker. I just really think that his mentality is what caused him to be a bust, not so much the knee injury. Not so much the knee injuries, it was his mentality. The fact that he went up there and literally said in a press conference, they don't pay players to play defense when it's a two-way player league, did him in. He did that to himself. And seeing him take up a roster spot on a young Sacramento Kings team, and he's damn near already mid-20s, late 20s, I feel like he's taking a spot away from somebody that really needs that spot. I feel like a guy like him that refuses to learn the game and refuses to learn how to adapt. These are the guys that were coming out in the 2000s. If you remember, there were a lot of talented players that came straight out of high school in the 2000s that were not LeBron James, that were not Kobe Bryant or Kevin Garnett, that were just really good players in high school. In the NBA, they were barely role players. Deshaun Stevenson's one of them. Yeah, he won a title, but was he really a factor for a lot of his years? No, he was just hanging on to a roster spot. Kwame Brown, we already know about him. All right, he managed to play 13 seasons and really never ever live up to any type of standard to where he needed to live up to. Andrew Bynum, for the outside the injuries, he didn't have a really good mentality. Yeah, he won a title, but did he win a title because of him, or did he win a title because the team he was on was stacked? I could make the argument that Pau Gasol won them that finals against the Boston Celtics in that Game 7 when he had damn near almost 20 rebounds in that game. He wasn't really so much Bynum. You know what I mean? So, not just him, but it was so many high schoolers that went straight from high school to college, and straight from high school to the NBA, and really didn't live up. And that right before the whole rule change where you had to go 1 year of college before you came to the NBA. I see these guys now like Jabari, who had 1 year in college, and he was a superstar in Duke, but he just never ever lived up. He just never lived up. He can't even barely shoot the three in the NBA where you need to learn how to shoot threes. He doesn't even look like he's in good condition. And that's saying something considering, man. It's like, a lot of these guys, man, they diet, man. They change their diets. They look like they're in NBA shape. He looks like he's got 2 spare tires for arms, and the rest of his body's okay. I think his game, and honestly, not to be too hard on the kid, his game would have worked a lot more in the early 2000s and late 90s, considering game is more of a spread out game now. So a lot of factors go into why he was a bust, but I think the main factor was his mentality. It was his mentality is what's got him on the bench right now, barely just holding on to a roster spot on a losing team that's looking to kind of start moving up in the hierarchy that might never move up because the West is so strong. It just looked like the Kings are going to be cellar dwellers pretty much their whole entire existence from here on, unless they draft some really big superstar. Yeah, they paid De'Aaron Fox a lot of money. They really didn't have a choice but to pay him the money. I don't think De'Aaron Fox is a transformative talent. Do I think he's great? Yeah. Do I think he's a transformative talent that's going to lead you to titles? No, I don't. Nobody goes to sleep at night wondering if De'Aaron Fox is going to drop 45 every night on you, or if he's going to give you 20 and 10 assists every night. He's a really solid star. That's it. And chances are he probably doesn't finish his whole deal in Sacramento. Because I just think Sacramento's going backwards. I think Lottie Divac did such a horrible job. And their ownership has done such a horrible job, despite saving the franchise from moving to Seattle, that I don't think Sacramento's ever going to get out of the route they were in. They got rid of their coach. Their coach is a really good coach. The year before, got rid of him and signed Luke Walton. Luke Walton's not a good coach. Anyway, though, that's a video for another day. Jabari Parker, it's good that he has, he's doing what he can to get by, man. But let's be honest, man. I really feel like he's just taking roster spot at this point. And I feel like in probably one more year or so, you're going to be seeing him play Europe. Or he's just going to be out the league. Because there's really no use for players like him. The guy just does one thing, just plays offense, and that's it. He can go and give you 25, 30 points if he wants, but he can't do anything else. You can sit there and say, well, the 6-man could do that, but it's not even good enough to be a 6-man. So you got to ask yourself that question, like, well, what's really the point of having him on your roster? If you're Sacramento, I cut my losses. Go Squad TV. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Why Jabari Parker is a bust? Is it injuries or was it mentality? Salute. Be back soon. Peace.